Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to talk about Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power episode 4 called The Great Wave. We are on episode 4 now, so hopefully I can do episode 5 as well today because I'm tired of not being caught up. I'm so far behind and the next episode, episode 6, airs this Friday, so hopefully by then I'll have all these Lord of the Rings videos done. But yeah, let's get right into the episode. So this episode is written by Stephanie Folsom and JD and Patrick McKay, and it's directed by Wayne Shi Yip. So let's get straight into Numenor, and the Queen Regent is dreaming of a tidal wave of the island sinking. The island sinking, or the tidal wave, is apparently directly linked to the Numenorians standing with the elves once again against the Dark Lord. This time it is of course Sauron. Now I don't know if canonically in the books the island actually sinks. I can imagine it does, because why would you want to stay in Middle Earth if you can go to Numenor, which is such a more beautiful place? I mean, surely Aragorn would go to Numenor if he could instead of staying in Gondor. I can't imagine that it actually does sink, but it seems like that the Queen Regent and Galadriel have come to some sort of agreement, and that should technically save the island. But if it does eventually fall, then I don't know what could be responsible for its downfall. And this segues beautifully into my next point, is that they have to reforge the alliance between men, Numenorians, and elves against Sauron before he takes the Southlands, which is a great concern. Galadriel demands to speak to the exiled king, Tar Palantir. If his name is Tar Palantir, are the Palantir named after him? He is the Queen Regent's father, and the reason why she demands to speak with the king is because the Queen Regent doesn't want to listen. She wants to reforge the alliances, and she's like, nah, we don't trust elves anymore. And yeah, she basically disrespects the Queen Regent by calling her Regent only, and she gets so mad, she gets thrown in jail. And yeah, Galadriel is kinda sassy, but she kinda has to be when all of the world is in danger of being taken by Sauron. Now Isildur, who will be the eventual king of Gondor, he is deliberately being dismissed from the Sea Guard, which his father wants him to be, just to go west, aka to Middle Earth. So for some reason he wants to go to Middle Earth. I don't know why. If you live in Numenor, there's no reason whatsoever to go to Middle Earth. It's like Numenor or Middle Earth. I would take Numenor every day of the week. Now there seems to be a weird side plot that is going on, and it is Cayman and Arian, who is the daughter of Elendil, and there's some strange romance. She gets invited to dinner, she accepts eventually. Now I don't know where it's going to lead to. Are they gonna be together in the future? Are they gonna birth a child that is really well known in the Lord of the Rings universe? She seems like she's going to be maybe important in the future because she was accepted into the Builders Guild. She might be very important later on, depending on what the actual Builders Guild actually do. Now something interesting that happens in this episode is that these Seeing Stones, there are 7 of them, the 7 Seeing Stones, and Numenor has 1 of them, and they are more commonly known as Palantir, and the others are either lost or missing. And Queen Regent, she's called Míriel, she actually shows Galadriel what will happen. She thinks it's the downfall of Numenor is being linked to Galadriel, so that's why she wants to send her away so Numenor doesn't actually fall. So she shows her the Palantir, Galadriel touches it, and she can see that Numenor will fall. And obviously the Queen Regent has been using the Palantir in the beginning of the episode or something. So that's why she is so reluctant to trust an elf. And it makes sense. But she's being misguided, and yeah, Galadriel has to turn her to the right path. But I believe what the Palantir actually shows is that being disloyal to the elves is directly linked to the downfall of Numenor, or being disloyal to the elves will let evil rise in Middle Earth and destruction should come to everyone. And again we have the white petals of Numenor, the very tears of the Valar, they are falling when the Queen Regent sends Galadriel away, which means that if the petals of the three are falling, it means that, hey, we are actually closer to doom. And she sees that the leaves are falling, and she's like, wait, I made a great mistake, or a grave mistake. And she's like, Galadriel, come back, we are having an alliance. And in the end, the alliance between Numenorians and elves has been reforged by the looks of things, and the Queen Regent will personally escort Galadriel to Middle-earth. And obviously they have to have, guards or something like that. And when the other dude, I guess the Queen's right-hand man, they gotta have like men or people to go with her. And at first people are reluctant to actually join her on their quest because now she's an elf friend and they're all elf haters. But eventually I think Isildur's friends are like, okay, I will join, or one of them does, and then he's like, come on dude, and then the other friend is like, alright, I will join as well. And then Isildur joins, and then everyone follows. So that's how Isildur is going to Middle-earth. Now from Numenor to the Southlands, aka what I believe will be Mordor. If it's not Mordor, then I am so sorry, I'm just so stupid. But I looked at a map, the Middle-earth Tolkien map, and I'm pretty sure the Southlands are Mordor and not like something else like Isengard or whatever. So hopefully I'm right and not spewing like a lot of non-fact here. We get our first look at Adar, and again he may or may not be Sauron. He is deformed, or like his head is deformed, which means that it probably is Sauron, because wasn't Sauron deformed? Like eventually his elven beauty got disintegrated or deteriorated, I believe so, and he is a shapeshifter or changeling or whatever. Probably not called a changeling in there. If you've seen the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor games, it's like he literally switches from like the armored Sauron to his elven form. And the reason I believe he can't switch or transform back to his elven form is because he's been stuck in, or he has lost the ability to transform, so he's just stuck in this crazy looking cool armor. At the end of the last episode, Arondir, the Sylvan elf, got caught and brought before Sauron, and even though most of them, the elves that had this uprising, they got killed, I think, or captured, he was let go to send a message to the Southlanders. And Sauron knows where the hilt is now, so the hilt that we have seen for so many episodes now, Sauron is like linked to it in some form. Yeah, we obviously know that Theo has it, and yeah, the hilt holds a dark secret that will be revealed soon enough, even though we have already seen the episode. The Southlanders have been retreating to Orstedith, I believe it's called, and it is a abandoned elven watchtower, I believe. Things are scarce there because, yeah, they don't have a lot of rations and stuff, so Theo volunteers to go out and find some rations. And yeah, things are not going too well, because when he actually goes back to the village, he encounters an orc and then many more orcs. The place is infested with orcs now. I believe at the end of the episode he is being marked by the blade, because there's a man in the village that has the mark of like Sauron or something like that, and he is a servant of Sauron, or the Dark Lord. So yeah, is Theo gonna become a servant to the Dark Lord? Only time will tell. And also, there's something cool, is that someone or something is manipulating the sky to put darkness over everything. It's like in what Sauron did in like the movies to protect the orcs from sunlight, but here it's done in like not such a big a scale. But let's circle back to Arondir for a little bit, because the message that he was given by Sauron to send to the Southlanders is that they have to plead fealty to Sauron or they shall perish. Now we basically didn't see the dwarves in last episode, but going back to Khazad Dûm, Elrond thinks Durin is being a little bit sus because they're mining quartz or something in the old mines below the Mirror. I was thinking maybe he's scheming because he was acting a little bit sus, but they actually have found a new ore and it's lighter than silk, harder than iron, best material for weapons, more dear than gold? Now, as wrong is not the Arkenstone, it is in fact Grey Letter, or in Elvish is called Mithril, and I believe Bilbo's and Frodo's chainmail or under armor was made of Mithril, and my dumbass is obviously not the Arkenstone because the Arkenstone was mined in like the Lonely Mountain, and I said this in the last episode, but yeah, my dumbass is not thinking fully, my brain is not firing on all cylinders, but King Durin III accepts Elrond's invite to Prince Durin IV to go to Lindon, and he goes with him, but he tells him, be wary, and is he gonna act as a spy? Now that's gonna be interesting. And as I said in the last episode, this series has captured me. It's not like a lot of series that can capture me and reel me in like that. A few series that like reel me in like Peacemaker did, Stargirl did, and Lord of the Rings is doing. What's called? The Endless series on Netflix was also really good. The Netflix series is called Sandman, of course. That reeled me in. It's like I watched every single episode in like one day, and then I even listened to the audiobook on Audible. Those are a few series that are like reeling me in and that I'm really invested in. Let me know what your thoughts on this week's episode, but on episode 4 was. And yeah, I will see you later. Goodbye.
The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air.